It still boggles my mind that minimum wage is $7.25. At my job we recently hired someone and they're starting out at $19 an hour. Which I'll give my job credit for raising the starting salary, cause a few years back I started at $17. And at face value I'm like, that's good money. But when you do the math, that's only $39K before taxes. $39K is nothing. The living wage for my city is $43K. Which I feel is too low still. I know it's bad out here and I believe $15 should be minimum, but IDK seeing it laid out again was like WTF. Like they're trying to kill us at this point, cause that whole "you need low-paid workers" thing doesn't even apply anymore, cause there aren't even paying the well-paid people enough. I honestly believe anyone paid under $15 an hour is going into debt just to live. But they want us to spend more money to help the economy and then call us stupid for being in debt. And people will say, well, no jobs are still paying that, but they are. I live in a state where the minimum wage is the same as federal and I see postings all the time offering $7.27. It's horrendous. I especially see these low wages for daycare jobs. You want the people keeping your child safe to be making pennies? It's insane. I hate this country. I just learned that the minimum wage in Texas was $7.25 hours. I was just speechless. The rich really are trying to keep the masses down. There are some U.S. cities where the cost of living is around $4,550,000. That's the cost. Clapping hands medium skin tone, just clapping hands medium skin tone to clapping hands medium skin tone, live clapping hands medium skin tone. In some of these cities, the minimum wage is legally $7.25. Fearful face. It would take 3 full-time employees at that rate to survive for one person pleading face. The minimum wage should be $35 an hour. Because that's what actually equivalent to the buying power of $7.25 back when that was set. It is mind-boggling. Every time somebody says a $15 per hour minimum wage is too much, I tell them I made $6 an hour at my part-time college retail job in the 1983 to 1985 at a now-defunct upscale department store in Boston, equivalent of about $18. Straight pay, no company mission. Today, and if you worked Sundays, there were old Puritan laws that required any person who worked on Sundays got paid time and a half no matter how few hours you worked that week, so we made the equivalent of $27 an hour on Sundays. This wasn't minimum wage, and yes, a union was involved, but everyone deserves to make at least the today equivalent of what college kid working part-time could make in the 1980s. It's just so very wrong. Minimum wage equals if we could pay you less, we would. Welcome to Congress and the American lobbying industrial complex. Never forget the original intent of the minimum wage. https preview.red.it/8nnl7u75n70c1.png width equals 696 and format equals PNG and auto equals WebP and S equals 7F0D89B4B820B0D2238E08CA6DD15CB0BC64D681. America's gotten a $7 raise since 1938, let that sink in. My first job in high school paid $5.50 per hour, and that was in 2003. Terrible that the current minimum wage is only 1.75 more than that 20 years later. Woman facepalming. If they raised the federal minimum wage, the increased tax revenue might accidentally save Social Security. It's legal in many states to pay sub-minimum wage to disabled workers. Often $34 per hour. Total. Not tipped positions. https disabilityrights.florida.org/newsroom/story/deptoflavor14 see subminimum wage underview. https www.theguardian.com/society/2023/Mars/28/disabled workers living wage fight. It's sad cause I'm my area northeast, even $15 is paltry and doesn't do anything. Minimum wage should be $35.40 now. Look at the prices of everything. No one can convince me otherwise. There's absolutely no argument you can use against it. I am an MD and work as a professor in a private university. I make $4.50 per hour. Before taxes. Life is very expensive. Rent is ridiculous. If I had the chance, I wouldn't even doubt to go and work flipping burgers on the US. I think we are all FC ked everywhere. If you're poor, black, female, or gay and you vote Republican, you're a jackass. I am neither of these things and I still vote Biden. The only reason why Republicans have a chance is because of the dumpster fire that is Christianity. And stupid people who can't read. In states where the minimum wage matches the federal, it's used as an excuse to keep wages universally low. For example, I'm in PA and our wages are horrendous. No matter what you do, you will be underpaid in this state. As employers can just look at the minimum and say, well, at least it's not minimum wage. Quote, it really does affect all of us. Gotta make sure the poors who live in areas where that's a living wage can't afford to leave. Don't forget, if they could get away with paying you less, they would. When I started working, it was like $5.15 an hour. I remember when they raised it to $7.25 thinking, wow, what a huge jump. Now it feels insane. $7.25 doesn't have any buying power. Minimum wage needs to be $25 at this point. I would say 20, but that's barely enough to eat every day today.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.